Israeli troops are set to withdraw from the first of two pilot zones in southern Lebanon in the coming days as negotiations between the US, Israel and Lebanon continue. As talks do go on, residents look towards a positive future for Lebanon that includes increased security, economic reconstruction and improved diplomatic relations. Let's chat about this more with Diana Menhem, who is the Managing Director at advocacy group Kulluna Irada. Diana, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time with us today. President Joseph Aoun has defended Lebanon's decision to negotiate with Israel. This comes despite domestic criticism. Do you believe these talks are in Lebanon's national interest?
Absolutely. I believe that diplomacy is the only way left for Lebanon. In fact, a recent poll has shown that less than 19% of the Lebanese still believe that the military option or the resistance option is the option that should be actually taken in the upcoming phase. This means that the majority of the Lebanese actually admit and acknowledge that diplomacy is the only way forward. President Aoun has chosen these direct negotiations between Lebanon and Israel. He has chosen to pursue these direct negotiations. And while many of the Lebanese may have criticisms over the latest outcome of the Lebanese-Israeli framework, but definitely the majority agree over the trajectory. This has been voiced by many political groups, by many political actors. Recently also, a group of 400 Lebanese political actors and intellectuals have issued a statement endorsing this diplomatic trajectory and voicing that this is the only way out for Lebanon out of the problem that it is in. Now, of course, we must understand that Lebanon has actually engaged in these negotiations under very tough circumstances. The state is in a very weak position. Definitely, the massive defeat that Hezbollah has inflicted upon itself and upon the Lebanese has left the Lebanese state in a very weak position to negotiate. You must also understand the circumstances under which these negotiations are happening. And therefore, the Lebanese, yes, the Lebanese state is taking a bet. And the bet of the Lebanese state at this point is that the US will be able to pressure Israel enough to rein the Israelis in enough, particularly on the short term. And to a certain extent, that bet, has been successful. Beirut today is shielded. There are no bombings in Beirut. Now, of course, bombings continue in southern Lebanon. Israeli attacks continue in southern Lebanon, albeit at a lesser frequency. The success in the upcoming phase will depend on the Lebanese state's ability to actually get more guarantees from the international community, particularly the US, but also from the Arab and Europeans, and more support in order to be able to rein Israel in and in order to support the Lebanese state in pursuing this track.
Do you think that the US is doing enough to rein Israel in at the moment?
I believe that the US today has a motive to rein Israel in. Of course, the Islamabad track, if you want to call it, or the US-Iranian MOU, or whatever is left of it, is weak today. I don't know if it's probably all gone, but the US has an interest in reining Israel in because it wants to preserve its chances of keeping a diplomatic track with Iran. And therefore, in terms of interest, it does have one. Now, how much can it rein the Israelis in? We have to remember also that the upcoming elections in Israel mean that the Israeli authorities will actually tend to get more aggressive in Lebanon, will tend to move more aggressively. And this will be a challenge also for the US and definitely for Lebanon. But until the moment, the US has been able to keep the Lebanese-Israeli diplomatic track together, to get a framework agreement, not ideal agreement, but to get a framework agreement. And now we're going to have to see how much further the US is going to push. And definitely a big milestone will be the pilot zones, which were agreed in the latest framework. Will these pilot zones be implemented? We're waiting for that. Until the moment, implementation of the pilot zones has not begun yet.
And I want to talk to you a little bit about these pilot zones, because what I'm reading is Lebanon has delayed the next round of talks until Israel withdraws from these agreed pilot zones. Is that the right negotiating strategy at the moment for Lebanon, or do you think it risks stalling diplomacy?
I believe that the Lebanese need to also see results. And I believe that the Lebanese government, the Lebanese authorities want to start seeing results. And a first big milestone needs to be at least an Israeli retreat from the two pilot zones that were designated in the framework agreement. There were two areas that were actually agreed upon in the framework agreement, and that the Israelis need to retreat from, noting that these are not two areas that the Israelis really, these are not two strategic areas. So they are areas of less strategic importance. And therefore, it shouldn't be a big feat for the Israelis to get out of these areas. I definitely believe that the Lebanese have to see something. It will boost the credibility of the Lebanese government and help the Lebanese government push through in these negotiations that are already very difficult and in which the Lebanese government has actually given a lot of concessions.
Diana Menhem, it was great to have you on the show. I hope that we can have you back again. Thank you so much for your analysis of the situation.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you.